Hello everybody, this is Simon with Let's Play Sonic Unleashed. Today we're starting right where last video left off, and that is talking to Charles, who is way too full of himself. That does mean that we're going to do the side quests first in this video. Stay tuned for a really cool level at the end of it, or skip ahead if you really don't care for me doing the side quests. But they have gameplay, so you should also stay tuned for them, so that's nice. Anyway, obviously we have to go here. And we have to go back and tell Charles exactly what we just heard, which is pretty annoying in my opinion, but that's just the way this game is set up. I mean, I guess it rewards you for knowing which people to ask about things, because I just immediately was like, there's one doctor in the game, and I knew this because I'd played the game so much. But in practice, because I knew that, this didn't do anything for me. I was just running around the world map for a while. You're welcome for me cutting out all of that, by the way. Anyway, obviously we need some buns here. I was thinking do we also need peach buns? Maybe? But yeah, I don't know. Maybe the peach buns also work, but meat buns is a classic, so obviously I'm just gonna get those, try it out. Actually didn't want to talk to you. Somehow that didn't work, but yeah. I think talking to Charles is what you need to do to give Jun the buns. The Meat Bun Trial. What other trials will await me? Trials and tribulations, I can promise you that, because the next one actually kicked my ass a little. But first we gotta figure out what their next trial actually is. Yelin, is it yours, maybe? Actually, where is Sonshin, by the way? Oh, there he is, if you excuse me the little cutting around, because I was actually looking for him for a while. What is going on at night here, by the way? Absolutely nothing, they're all gone. So back to day, and we have successfully completely reloaded the area. So now it is in fact Yelin's turn to give us a trial, or rather Charles, but I guess we have to help him and carry him on his lazy ass. And yeah, this is the one where I actually struggled with. This is nothing we haven't done before. In fact, it is actually not the hard mode version per se. It is relatively simple. But just chaining everything together under a rather strict time limit kind of gave me just a few issues, as we're going to see. And I'm not going to hold back with the deaths, because I know a bunch of you love to see me struggle and fail. And if not, you know, you can always skip ahead. But yeah, this is the normal platforming here. And if you are not on the ball with the angle, then yeah, sure, you can fail here. It's been a bit since I've done this, so I have to relearn all the timings. Go up here, up here, up here, that's fine. And no, don't do that, but I just so caught myself. The missile is very persistent, but now we can go up here. This is a bit unfortunate that it kind of forces you to wait again under a pretty strict time limit. It doesn't always have to be the case. I have one very good run where it just works out perfectly, but you know, not always. Now here, any enemies up here? Nope, we have seen this before at some point, but again only in the hard mode version, where we had to get a bunch of enemies killed in a short amount of time. But this is not that version of the stage. There is no enemies here, for instance. We are just doing the platforming basically with the missiles that were just shot at us. Merely a small obstacle here as well. Get up on the roof, not a problem. But there are no spikes down there. There's this one guy here for reasons that are unfathomable to me. So we go up on this roof and barely miss the grind. And that's very unfortunate, because I was almost done. And now, of course, I can't replicate my almost done for the next 5 tries. So that's, yes. I keep being too impatient in situations like this, you know. Anyway, as I told you, there are no spikes down here. Very much easy mode. And then I fall down here. And just to confirm, even with lots of boost left, you just can't get back up there. If you fall on the water, that's it, you're dead. And you have to do the entire thing all over again. And this is where the difficulty comes from, in my opinion, me being a dumbass. So this time I deliberately skipped over this booster because I want to get this ring. I haven't been able to do that for the last 10 times. And if you do, then you go up here, do a dragon shortcut down there into this booster, stay on top still. And I don't actually know how much time this saved, but I mean, it's cool, I guess. But if you do use the boost pad, then you just lose out on control. You can't get into that ring, at least I couldn't, I don't know why. But yeah, now I have to wait again for the rings, and wow, this is a very persistent missile. It's a very persistent missile. It's a very persistent missile. Can I please get the missile to stop following me? Thank you very much. Finally, wow. Reached an entirely new part of the level. Don't forget there is a gap here. Yup, that's fine, because I have done this plenty of times, so I know what to do there. And now here as well I know how to cut corners very easily, be much quicker about it than I have ever been before, because now I don't have to worry about killing enemies, of course. Cut another corner here, trust the level to have the boost pads here to align me up on this roof. And here I do another shortcut, because if you boost late you can do that. I actually did want to get up on the roof, but I missed it, but it's fine, it's not a big deal because there is nothing dangerous in here. And we have reached Yulin at the end. And we are done with this finally, because again this took longer than I think it should have. Good. So what is our reward here? We have helped out Charles, and it is actually implying that Charles ran around with us. Oh, she's called Yulin, not Yulin, I'm sorry. Which is fine, because he's finally getting off his lazy ass and doing something. But yeah, the entire setup here is a little bit weird, because it seems to me like it is a typical story where the wise Chinese man is testing the apprentice, but actually he's just completely unaware. It's all the children just fucking with Charles, which is funny, and he deserves it. But now he finally was able to talk to Son Shen, and the first thing that now is happening is, of course, Son Shen telling him to paint a fence, metaphorically, but Charles is of course foisting this off on us, and I have zero clue why Sonic just doesn't shove the medicine right back up one of his orifices, but I guess we're just going to do that. We know where Sariana is, because last time I was doing another around the world roundup, so we go to cold Holoska, where Yariture is once again being bullied by his wife, but maybe she's actually not as bad as she seems, because she has gotten medicine for him and she doesn't want him to worry. Yes, she's actually still a hard ass about it. Like, I don't quite get it. Is that supposed to be funny? Because like she's full of hearts and everything and smiles, but he seems really oppressed by her in some way. I don't know, maybe he likes it. It's fine. Anyway, now we have another conflict here with Charles being yelled at, again, for good reason, because his Pac-Man ass face made us do all the work, which should be a lesson that he learns from here. But now I think he's starting to grow some sort of backbone, which is weird because he was just being a persistent idiot with an entitlement complex the entire time. Can you tell that I've worked with med students before? Yeah, I guess that's the end of the side quest, maybe, because I couldn't get anything else to trigger. This seems to be the final dialogue, but maybe there is some more to it, some denouement at the end. Anyway, it's average quality, I would say, in the end. I just don't like Charles as a character, and I feel like they kind of mishandled the writing. Like, it seems to be playing with cliches, but actually it's completely straight. I don't know. We hadn't seen this cute dialogue by Nagi before, and while I'm looking around here, anything in this corner? Nope. I actually find another guy that I think haven't seen here before, unless I'm mistaken, and that is Ventos. He is all the way back there in this corner. Very hard to spot if you're just going through the stage normally here, and he has something for me, something they haven't seen before, something that seems cheap enough, so whatever, I'm just gonna buy it. Maybe eventually I will get everything. For example, if the DLCs load me up with a bunch of rings. But before we think of that, let's go to the stage that I promised you, and it's a bit of a doozy because it is actually entirely focused on the badass walkway segment. You have to do a short jump here. Yep. I will figure this out, don't worry. I was slightly struggling with this stage, but it was a blast the entire way. I really like this setup, because doing the fast side steps for me peak gameplay in my opinion. Like, it's so simple, but it is one of the funnest things in my opinion that you can do in this engine, and this stage definitely delivers in spades, as you have to do the quick decisions. And the only real problem I have is this, because this one blade is somehow low enough that you have to slide under it. All the others not a problem. You low jump, you just run run underneath them, and the stage is over, by the way, but that's fine. It's very short, punchy. Sometimes I wish it was a bit more, but on the other hand, it doesn't overstay its welcome, so it's a wash in the end. But yeah, that one low blade is really annoying, because I want to keep the boost button held down. I want to have my thumb on the jump button as well. So where the hell do I put my fingers so that I can slide on demand? And that is a constant issue I have with this game. I actually ended up in the end doing a very weird claw grab just for this stage, using my index finger on the B button and using my middle finger to do the side steps. It was terrible. Anyway, before we actually have to do this, I actually wanted to tackle these guys here and go on the top route, but because the shield guys are awful, I keep running afoul of their very, very solid shield hitboxes, and we are going to see a little bit of a comedy of errors here right at the start. Didn't have to edit this because it's constantly here. Like, what the hell is going on here? Can you please just die already? No? Okay, but thank you for the lift then. How about you? No? Okay, I'm going to take this very slow, very deliberate. Ugh. So what is up here? Yes, a moon medal. I knew it. Excellent. So can we go on with our lives then? So this is what happens if you take the bottom path. Also have to do a low jump there. Excellent. Good stuff. Second part of the level. Maybe I can find the missing sun medal, huh? I haven't gone to the right yet. Oh, you have to slide under this guy as well. Let's never go to the right again. Okay, where's the sun medal? Oh, there it actually is there. Did you spot it? But I made a mistake and I fell into the water. It feels like I could have continued boosting, but I think the water here is programmed to just kill you instantly, which is fair. I mean, that's not part of the challenge to just circumvent the entire walkway and jump up on it in the end. By the way, if you do the start consistently, then the spiked bar will always miss you, always with an asterisk, because I will actually run afoul of it later on. Oops. Not everything is perfectly consistent, but also if you get all the rings, which is trivial, you don't even have to get the ones here. See, it didn't have the finger on the slide button. And here's the sun medal, which I alluded to. But yeah, even if you take the boost ramp, which seems to make you miss the rings, if you are boosting constantly, the vacuum from the boost will actually suck the rings in, so you still get enough to get 100 for an extra life. This still was an S rank, presumably because I got hit at the end. Now we're going to see a few struggles on the way to said S rank, because here, for example, for some reason, the spike bar was just in the way. I was willing to continue, but then I bounced off its hitbox and everything was terrible. Oh god, this is not looking good for my life situation in Eggman Land, because, you know, I am at 4 lives now and this is not the final one, but I actually now taking the different path for once, because I was spooked by the bar being in the wrong place for me last time. I actually found the videotape. If I want to get them all and I wouldn't have found this one right here, right now, man, I would have spent hours looking for it. By the way, we're never going to see what the fire bars to the left do. I'm sorry I didn't show off every single square centimeter. This is what happens if you do a low jump into the non-rainbow ring, and this is what happens if you screw up a jump. There is an invisible wall here at the end and then you die. Whoops. Anyway, let's see if this attempt is actually successful. It's not going to be. I've watched the video before and I've played all of this, but I edited before the holiday break, so actually I had to remind myself, second take. But yeah, this part here, no problem now, completely consistent. I have at this point figured out a way to hold my fingers, but yeah, this water doesn't kill you instantly. Maybe the other one was a bit of a fluke, but still the water spouts at the end ended my life, and of course you don't get all the rings, which you do need to do to get the S rank. It is refreshingly strict, because past stages have been a little bit too free in my opinion, and I do want to struggle a little bit, you know, so it's just some semblance of a challenge here and not just get it handed to me for free. I do like, however, that sometimes Sonic catches himself. You just saw him do that, and here I had my finger on the slide button, pressed it too early though. I was a little bit in mid-air, and in that moment I was doing a stomp instead of a slide. Oh boy. Oh yeah, this doesn't bode well. This just rattled me a little bit. And is this going to be the successful attempt regardless, with that little stumbling block here at the start, where I did not do the low jump correctly? We will see together. Extra life, so that's good, because, you know, I was at 1 life, I was almost game overing. Here I did the slide correctly, got the sun medal at the very least. Excellent. Here the last part is basically free, not a big problem. Get the ring now. So did the stumble kill my S rank attempt? No. This is enough, 74,000. So maybe the threshold is 70k and I almost got it a few times, but it's fine. I got everything here in this stage. It was a very worthwhile challenge in my opinion. I left it a little less edited now so that you could really appreciate it. And with this we are done with the day stages, the normal day stages. We only have one more level here left because Adabat is a big world, so it has a night side act. Next time, thank you very much for your attention.